I think we all forget. I mean, we haven't actually been like watching Donald Trump closely for some time now as well. And neither is the American public, but everyone is excited to watch the debate. Before we get to the Dr. Piss Inspect. People like this are why other streamers are afraid to come on. Yes. You were perpetuating the trope of the cannibalistic left. Was going to say myth, but yeah, it's not. Jack Mode, thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
Where there's so much water you don't know.
Here's Trump talking about waterless dishwashers or whatever.
Where there's so much water you don't know what to do with it. You know, it's called rain. It rains a lot in certain places. But no, their idea, you know, did you see the other day? They just put, I opened it up and they closed it again. I opened it, they close it. Washing machines to wash your dishes. There's a problem. They don't want you to have any water. They want no water. And I was with...
And you were just listening to former President Trump, and we're going to talk about some of the things he was discussing there. We'll be right back with final remarks.
Where there's so much water, you don't know what to do with it. You know, it's called rain. It rains a lot in certain places.
I can't believe they cut out my goat.
No water in your faucets. You ever try buying a new home and you turn on, they have restrictors in there. You want to wash your hair, or you want to wash your hands. You turn on the water and it goes drip, drip. The soap, you can't get it off your hand. So you keep it running for about 10 times longer. You're trying. The worst is your hair. I have this beautiful, luxuriant hair. And I put stuff on. And I put it in. Lather. I like lots of lather because I like it to come out extremely dry because it seems to be slightly thicker that way. And I lather up, and then you turn on this crazy shower, and the thing drip, drip. And you say, I'm going to be here for 45 minutes. They put restrictors, and they put them on in places like here where there's so much water you don't know what to do with it. You know, it's called rain. It rains a lot in certain places. But no, their idea, you know, did you see the other day? They just put, I opened it up and they closed it again. I opened it, they close it. Washing machines to wash your dishes. There's a problem. They don't want you to have any water. They want no water. And
wait, why? I want to see the rest of it. I want to see what he has to say about having no water. What does he mean by this?
No water in rains a lot. Dishes.
This is sad. All Sheldon, thank you for the 5 tier 1 gifted subs. It's sad what they did to my goat. Unimaginably sad what they did to my goat. My goat is also running this narrative as well. We're going to talk about that. Just in, Trump calls for a drug test for Biden in the lead up to the debate while offering to take one himself. Love to see it, folks. You love to fucking see it. I really hope he doesn't use that as a way to like run away from the debate, by the way. I am legitimately scared. Anyway, look.
I told Dana White of UFC, I said, here's what we're going to do. You know, these are tough cookies coming into our country, coming with prisons and mental institutions. I said to Dana White, UFC, he's got a big fight going on right now. He's a good friend of mine. You know what he said the other day? They said, who's the toughest person you've ever met? He said, definitely Donald Trump. He said, Donald Trump. How about that? But I said, Dana, I have an idea for you to make a lot of money. You're going to go and start a new migrant fight league. Migrants, only migrants.
You mean the current existing UFC? Who the fuck does he think is in the UFC? UFC. You're going to make a lot of money. Do the same thing you've been doing.
And then at the end of the year, the champion migrant is going to fight your champion. And I hate to tell you, Dana, I think the migrant might win. That's how tough they are. I told Dana White of UFC, I said, here's what we're going to do. You know, these are tough cookies.
What is the percentage of like American fighters in the UFC? At least even like among champions and shit. I feel like, am I crazy? I feel like the UFC is literally the migrant league already. This guy, pretty sure he plays video games for the Biden administration. Okay, who is Dr. Oh. He said, okay, it's punchline first, but that's because the reveal of the setup is priceless. And you're right. You're right. I scrolled up to fucking understand context and you absolutely destroyed me. Oh my God.
we'll refer to him as Sleepy Joe. Because right now, as you know, it's been reported that right now Crooked Joe's gone to a log cabin to study, prepare. No, he didn't. He's sleeping now. Because they want to get him good and strong, so a little before debate time he gets a shot in the ass, and that's... They want to strengthen him up. So he comes out. He'll come out. I say he'll come out all jacked up, right? All jacked up. Now, will anybody be watching the debate on Thursday night?
Bro, me. I'm not joking when I say this. This is phenomenal commentary. Like, I know the media angle on this is like, it's unacceptable that he is lying and speculating that the current president is like on drugs. When you say that, I think the average American, myself included, look at you and go, come on, dude. Of course he's on fucking drugs. So is Trump. Like, that's Sudafed Sally over here. What the fuck are we talking about? He's also probably on Ozempic right now, by the way, because he's been losing a lot of weight. But like, it's so dumb. I think what's more interesting is why he's saying this. Because notice how he just like laid off the Sleepy Joe Brandon narrative. Notice how he laid off the Sleepy Joe Brandon narrative. I started noticing this like a week ago, where Fox News basically stopped saying like, oh, Joe Biden's going to get his shit pushed in, and basically started saying like, oh yeah, he's probably doing drugs. And I think the reason why they're saying that is because they don't want to set up the expectations so goddamn low that Joe Biden fucking clears it. Because they're cooking themselves. They're cooking themselves ahead of time for no fucking reason.
I'm shocked. No, I'm shocked. But they've taken so much fun out of it. There's no audience. They actually wanted us to sit down. I said, look, I really want to do this thing. You know, they gave me, what happened is they gave me something that couldn't be accepted. They gave me an offer I couldn't accept, and I said, I'll do it. Number one, it was CNN fake news, right? Who hates Trump. Then it was Fake Tapper, who really hates Trump. And
That's
Dana
not true.
Bash.
They love Trump.
Then it was, you know, it's Dana. It's not Dana. It's Dana. You know that, right? Right? It's Dana, right? Isn't it? It's either. Sherzika. Then they said, think of this, but no audience. It's like death. There's two us and two of them. It's like death. This could be the most boring, or it could be quite exciting. Who knows? You know, I already caught them. They had a presidential commission. You remember the time where they were turning off my mic and they weren't allowed to? And they had to apologize. You know, they apologized for it. Of course, that doesn't do any good. The debate's over.
Oh, they have muting power this time as well, I think.
We won the debate. We won just about all of those suckers. You know, we won them. How should I handle him? Should I be tough and nasty? Or should I be, she'd say no. Should I be tough and nasty and just say you're the worst president in history? Or should I be nice and calm and let him speak? 50. Be tough. Be tough. So bad. So bad. But anyway, it'll be a good, I'm sure he'll be prepared. Whatever happened to all that cocaine that was missing a month ago from the White House? Whatever happened?
The countdown to the first presidential debate just 3 days away, with the race at dead heat in our 538 polling average. This could be the most consequential debate in decades. Our chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce and Rachel Scott, who's following the Trump campaign, are going to join us from Washington. Mary, let me begin with you. Weekend of prep at Camp David for the president?
Yeah, that's exactly right, George. The president this morning, it continues to be hunkered down at Camp David. He is fine-tuning his messaging, honing his attack lines, and preparing for, as you said, what is expected to be the highest stake moment in this rematch so far. Now, the president is expected to stay there at Camp David until the debate on Thursday. He's huddling there with over a dozen advisors, and over the coming days, his prep is expected to evolve from gaming out questions and answers to holding 90-minute mock debates. Now, the president knows, look, he needs a strong performance here. He knows voters are concerned about his age. We are told he's likely to be more pointed and punchier in his attacks against Donald Trump. And for months, the Biden campaign has suggested that Americans aren't really dialed into this race yet. That changes on Thursday night. This is the president's chance to engage a whole new audience and to really make clear what's really at stake here, George.
And Rachel, in the past, Donald Trump has not gone through traditional debate prep. What about this time?
Bro, the entire fucking goal of Thursday's debate is literally to, one, make sure that Joe Biden can do like a State of the Union style performance where he shows the world that he's alive, that he's not dead. And two, the goal from the Democratic Party is to basically just remind everybody what Donald Trump is doing. I think we all forget. I mean, we haven't actually been like watching Donald Trump closely for some time now as well. And neither is the American public, but everyone is excited to watch the debate. A lot more people, obviously in a normal circumstance in 2020, there were significantly more people interested in watching the debates. But like right now, there's really no game in town. This debate will have a lot of eyeballs. Okay? This debate will have a lot of eyeballs. People care about seeing Donald Trump versus Joe Biden more than they care about listening to Joe Biden personally or listening to Donald Trump individually. So I think the goal is to max out on the eyeballs and have Trump basically fucking do Trump shit in broad daylight, because it goes along with their entire strategy of winning over educated, suburban, white voters that have historically voted for the Republican Party and even voted for Donald Trump. Either voted for Donald Trump in the past or even voted for Donald Trump twice. That is the goal of the Democratic Party here. The goal is not to win because Joe Biden has phenomenal talking points or the capacity to deliver said phenomenal talking points and positions. Okay, is this a debate you can co-stream? Yes, I will be co-streaming this debate. I'm going to be live reacting the fuck out of this debate. Yeah, I'll be muting chat. That's what I'll be muting. Anyway, any guest plan? Not really. I do have a guest coming on Wednesday. Felix Biederman is going to be back in the building so soon. So that's fun.
Almost everything that President Biden is doing, Donald Trump is not. There are no mock debates. There are no rehearsed punchlines or pivot points. The former president also didn't take any time away from the campaign trail. He was out here in Washington, D.C. and in Pennsylvania. He was mocking President Biden for being at Camp David and meeting with his senior advisors, preparing for the debate. But we've also seen this change in tone from Donald Trump after months of attacking President Biden, attacking his mental fitness. In recent days, he's called him a worthy debater. And even though the former president was out on the campaign trail essentially saying that he has no debate strategy, in reality, he is preparing more than he is actually letting on. I'm told he's had more than a dozen informal policy sessions with current and past advisors as well as Republicans.
Yeah. The major reason as to why he changed his tone, as even mainstream media is recognizing and suggesting, is because, like, I'm pretty sure they realize, like, it's really dumb. It's like self-defeating. It's almost akin to crying about mail-in ballots and trying to stop your voters from going out and voting at all because all voting is like rigged, which causes a depressive turnout. And it's kind of it's self-defeating in a similar vein. When you constantly say your debate opponent sucks over and over again, yeah, you set the bar so goddamn low. People know Joe Biden is old.
Republican allies, George.
Mary, this race has been deadlocked for months. Is the Biden campaign expected to be a game changer?
that is certainly their hope. Look, the president's goal here is to hold Donald Trump accountable. He wants to remind voters of the chaos of the Trump presidency, and he is going to warn that there are even darker days ahead should Donald Trump win again. We know he is going to put abortion rights front and center. He's going to continue to argue that Donald Trump is to blame for overturning Roe versus Wade. He's going to say that Donald Trump is a danger to democracy. Again, hammer that point that Donald Trump has said that he'll be a dictator on day one. But the challenge, George, for the president here is that he has to show that he can go after Trump without getting dragged into the mud with him. We all remember that extremely contentious, chaotic first debate of the last cycle. The president wants to avoid that, so he has to find a way to go after Trump, to land his punches, while also showing that he can be a steady leader, George.
Rachel, Donald Trump says he doesn't have a strategy. How about his campaign?
Yeah, well, look, his advisors are keenly aware that no one really benefited from that shouting match that we saw unfold last time around. And they also know, George, so much has changed since these last candidates saw each other, namely January 6th and also the former president's legal troubles. And so he's been on the campaign trail saying he would pardon the rioters that stormed the Capitol on January 6th. He's since been convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records. They are preparing for those topics to come up on that debate stage, George.
Okay, Rachel, Mary, thanks very much. This Thursday night, you can watch the CNN presidential debate on ABC. It all starts at 8 Eastern with the ABC News special Race for the White House.
Believe it or not, we are less than 5 months before the presidential election. So let's take a look at how young voters feel about the big issues and the candidates. A new CBS News poll shows that voters under the age of 30, which we're calling young, favor President Biden by more than 20 points. But the numbers all...
Bro, that's crazy. Those are the youngest voters out there. What are we talking about? It's 18 to 35. Which we're calling young, he said. Don't say copium, bro. No one. This demographic doesn't fucking vote, okay? Some of you are in this demographic, or many of you are in this demographic. And the reality is, this is like the non-voter demographic. There's a shit ton of them. And like in the best year, you'll see 25% of them go out to vote. Anyway, let's see what they're
also reveal major questions about whether those folks will actually show up at the polls. Kaylin Huey-Burns listened to young voters across the political spectrum in the battleground state of Arizona to find out what's on their minds ahead of this critical election.
Chaotic?
Kind of scared, a little bit. I don't feel like anything is improving.
Shambles.
These are the voices of young voters in Arizona describing how they feel about the state of the country right now, and their vote could be key in picking the next president if they show up.
The couch is looking real comfy right now.
So you'd be entirely comfortable staying home?
For sure. Absolutely.
Roger Ward is 29 and doesn't feel like any of the candidates are speaking to issues affecting young Black Americans.
You have to give us something to vote for.
Do you think that sitting this election out sends a message?
It's so funny, like, that this is seen as like a radical statement. Like, this is the literal underpinning of political movements. Okay? Like, what he is saying is not insane. What he's saying is the most sane thing to ask. And the people that think that he's wrong are the insane ones. It's not like voting is like a super simple process in this country. It's complicated unnecessarily. And there are hurdles that are deliberately created. The local election stuff is important. Yeah, for sure. But I think he's talking about voting for the president right now. Come on, it's not that bad. Just mail that hoe in. Oh my God. Bro. The under 35 age demographic is both poor and oftentimes like devoid of a stable fucking P.O. box. You know that, right? Like they might be in college. They might not be in college. They might be moving around a bit. Like it is one of the, that's why I'm saying it's like hard. Doesn't mean it's impossible. It's just harder than it should be. Because the reality of the matter is voting should be the easiest fucking thing of all time. What are we talking about? But beyond that, what I'm trying to say is most people don't make this calculation. Most people aren't like, oh, I'm a lesser evil voter. Most people are just like, yeah, I don't like either of these candidates. Why the fuck would I go out of my way to vote? Like, voting should not even be an inconvenience. You understand? And the reality is, in the United States of America, inconvenience means that it's like one of the easiest voting structures that you have in front of you. It is at best an inconvenience, and in most circumstances, difficult to do. So in a process like that, yeah, why the fuck would you go out and vote? Especially if like neither candidate is offering you anything. Or even if they do offer you something, not communicating that.
Absolutely, because we're weaponizing our vote.
I just registered a week ago.
Adam French, who is 26, was planning to sit this one out until he considered a third option.
I didn't feel like inspired, but yeah, seeing RFK was like, okay, now I actually want to like vote.
At an arts festival in Phoenix, other first-time voters spoke about their concerns.
I'm not happy about my options, but I do understand that if I don't vote, then it's probably a vote for Trump, and I don't want that.
New CBS News polling shows 66% of voters under 30 say they will definitely vote in November. But that's far less than older Americans. Young voters were key to Biden's victory in 2020. But among those who did show up 4 years ago, only 3/4 say they'll do so again. And the economy is a central issue. Our new poll shows a majority feel it's gotten harder to buy a house, raise a family, and get a good job. Some said that's driving their support for Trump.
He seems more competent.
The youth vote between the ages of 18 and 29 saw a dramatic increase in voter participation up to 50%. That was 2020. COVID election, universal mail-in ballot voting. Okay. That in 2020 was an 11-point increase. An 11-point increase from the voter participation in 2016. Okay? Just so you know, 39% in 2016 of the 18 to 29-year-old demographic of eligible voters actually fucking voted. It is one of 2020. 2020 was one of the highest voter participations for the 18 to 29-year-old demographic. Why? It was also one of the highest turnouts for any election. Why? It was the highest turnout historically for the Republican Party, highest number of votes for the Republican Party, highest number of votes. Is it because the country's getting larger? Sure, that plays a role in it. Is it because Joe Biden is a leftist? No, of course not. Is it because a lot of people hated Donald Trump and voted against him? Sure, that plays a role. It wasn't the existential threat, though. And it certainly wasn't because political awareness is growing. You're absolutely wrong on that. The only reason why was because it was easier to fucking vote. That's it. That's it. That's literally it. Nothing else. That is the reason. And anybody that tells you that that is not the reason is wrong. Okay? Sometimes things are that simple. Sometimes it is not that complicated. Top of the hour ad break comes in, and you can avoid it by subscribing. It's not that complicated. Action, a reaction. That's how it works. Okay? If you want to see the ad, that's fine. If you don't want to see the ad, then subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get one free Prime subscription a month. Use it on your favorite broadcaster. Hopefully that's me. Here's the 3-minute ad break. Now, here it is. Are the boys bringing Mr. Beast to stay with them? Oh, yeah. Mr. Beast is an... If did not vote was running. Yeah. I mean, that's 2016. That has changed a little bit in 2020. Anyway, I believe if I did not vote is not the plurality in 2020. Has Hasan talked about the Dr. Suspect shit yet? No, I haven't, but I will. Fear not. It's coming. Let's continue.
The cost of everything is kind of going up in general.
The economy is also critical for Biden supporters like Ruby Morales, a recent college grad who's working at a Starbucks while she looks for a career.
It's kind of unfortunate that my current job is paying more than my future job.
And it's not lost on young voters that they are having to choose between the two oldest candidates. Half of them say neither Trump nor Biden understands younger people, and they're less likely to want to vote because of that.
Preferably somebody under the age of 50 would be awesome. In 2020, it's the same options you had then, and we all saw how that went.
And it's also worth noting that while the economy is a top concern for these young voters,
dude, the Mormon chatter is the funniest nerd. I have to read this. Why don't more people find voting fun? It's kind of exciting, like football, but for everyone. You are such a goddamn nerd, bro. Holy shit. Holy fuck. I literally professionally talk about politics, and I enjoy it so much. And I could never cook up a nerdier fucking approach. Jesus Christ. God damn, chatter. That is so insane, bro. Holy fuck, Mormon chatter. Jesus Christ. Consistently the best poster in this community. A lot of you will need to learn from him. Okay? Yeah, I prefer that fucking chatter who still has not like lost his like genuine curiosity to all of the rugged, hardline, diehard lefties who are always constantly trying to fucking tell me I'm in the wrong and not sufficiently leftist. Anyway. What is this? Breaking, have you covered this? Major record companies sue AI music generator Suno Udio for mass infringement or copyright. Oh, nice. Get him, I guess. This reminds me, I fucking got a subscription for Will and his like Suno competition that we did. And I don't think I actually signed out of that subscription, which is why I probably should right now. Let's see. Wait, what the fuck? Cloudflare, Suno.com error. Is the website no longer working? Oh no, it did log me in. Oh, here we go. How the fuck do I find how to log myself out? How? 3,000 credits subscription. Edit billing details. Renewal date July. Cancel plan. Canceling. You are not eligible for a refund. Fuck. Yo, I'm not lying. That shit would have gone down, son. That shit, I literally would have probably paid them for years. Fuck. All right. Let's keep going back to the young voters.
The issue of abortion, climate, and race and diversity also rank higher for them than other age groups. And for those young voters not yet paying attention to this presidential race, all of those issues are likely to come up at this week's debate. Tony?
They sure are. Caitlin, thank you very much.
Voting is a privilege. If you choose not to exercise that privilege, you can't complain when others do, and the outcome is one that you don't like.
Yeah. You can complain, but
you
don't
can,
have
but no one's going to listen to you because
I
you
know.
didn't take advantage of this privilege that we all have.
Sacred right.
I would be amazed to see what kind of country we have if participation were higher. I mean, we have like 62%, which was a near record or record in
Fuck you mean voting is a privilege, bro?
Believe it
It's
or not, we
literally-
are less than.
It's a fucking right. Like, what are we talking about? Voting is the privilege.